And things started going sour when we discussed splitting shares of the company if we ended up going with the investor. We didn't see eye to eye on the split percentages. And DMAC, he felt like he could make this dream happen on his own. And I didn't think he could. And we ended up making like a banana and we split. And once we split, that's when, I fully went into Perspective Collective. And that was in 2014. I took it on all out and I had made up my mind like, there's no way I'm not going to make my dream happen. I'm going solo. And I thought I didn't need anybody else's help to get to where I wanted to be in life.
The Perspective Podcast is fuel for your mind and creative grind. Each week, my guests and I provide the skills for thinking bigger, overcoming adversity, and making an impact with your work.
What's going on? You're listening to episode 140 of the Perspective Podcast. My name is Scotty.D.Russell of Perspective Collective. I'm here to help you build a killer side hustle and elevate your brain outside your day job. I'm going to start this one off with a quote today. So be strong enough to stand alone, smart enough to know when you need help, and brave enough to ask for it. And this one came from Ziad K. Abdelnour. And as a side hustler, you're already strapped for time. So going it alone puts you at a disadvantage right out of the gates. Something that I struggled with in the beginning was being too proud to admit that I did not have all the answers. So I'm here to tell you today, in case you're in that same spot like me, that there is no shame at all in asking for help. So today's episode, I'm going to share with you a story of an early day side hustle right out of college that taught me a huge lesson on leaning on others to help me find the answers. So this lesson is what has propelled me to where I am today and where I plan on going in the future. So we're going to be kicking off a 4-part side hustler series. And today's analogy was inspired by the hit movie, classic, The Hangover, which I recently just watched. And this is where I got this idea. So my goal is to help a lone wolf such as yourself and like what I was when I got started. I want to help you navigate the levels of finding your wolf pack, minus the whole drinking roofied Jagermeister from that dude named Alan on a rooftop in Vegas. So let's just jump into it. Now, I've been side hustling for a hot minute now. And one of my bigger side hustles was, again, right out of college when a buddy and I, Dustin McLaughlin, shout out to Dustin, a Dubuque, Iowa product, he and I started this brand, a clothing brand called Daydreaming Clothing Incorporated. We ended up quickly changing it. I think it was a few months later to Daydreaming Clothing Company because we were far from a corporation. Incorporated, we thought it just sounded cool at the times. And well before hand lettering was a thing on Instagram, I was making hand lettered logos and graphics for tees, back when our brand debuted in 2010. So I was in the mix early. And we started off with just putting this custom handmade logo I did on a few shitty Gildan tees. Those ones I'm talking about. Then we ordered some business cards through Vistaprint for the super cheap, and we ended up calling ourselves a business, as simple as that. And while our original launch was just hot garbage, I can see all the mistakes we made. At the same time, I'm super proud of it because we were just young dreamers taking big action, and we didn't know what we were doing, but we threw ourselves into the fire. And those first few logo tees involved the more complex designs as we then filed for an LLC. We started taking ourselves a little more seriously. 2 years into it, we were sponsoring rappers and skaters and motocross bikers and local influencers. And we even sent stuff out to Nyjah Houston and the Chainsmokers before they blew up. 3 years into it, we were hosting events at clubs, doing pop-up shops, and getting into brick and mortar stores. There's a couple around Dubuque and online stores like Casbah that we were getting into. It was pretty crazy. We were just making shit happen. All right, young dreamers, action takers, and we were just figuring out along the way. Again, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. DMAC, my partner, he was the point of contact string puller. He was the accountant and the fulfillment manager. I was obviously the artist, the designer, the marketing and promotion lead. And we wore a lot of hats, and we balanced each other out really well and brought in extra help off the streets for more support, like brand ambassadors, people just local homies that wanted to, grind towards the same dream we were doing. And it was in our 4th year. We were getting really serious, and we were ready to elevate our product offerings and just really blow things up, take it to a new professional level. We ended up lining up a huge investor and locked down a warehouse that was going to create custom threads for us out of Canada. Whatever patterns we could dream and scheme up, that's what we could do. Like crazy socks, crazy t-shirts, crazy whatever we wanted. But this was the turning point. It became a shit or get off the pot kind of scenario. And, that's what led to the banana split. My partner, D-Mac, shout out to him. This dude was all in, and he was ready to quit his job to pursue this dream. And for me, it wasn't so easy. I was in the middle of changing day jobs, going from a horrible one to this new one that could provide some stability. I had a new mortgage, and I was sitting on a pile of somewhat fresh private student loan debt because I attended a private school and it was killing me. And I wasn't as eager to take this risk, and I wanted to keep doing daydreaming as my secondary full-time side hustle because we put in some hours. And things started going sour when we discussed splitting shares of the company if we ended up going with the investor. We didn't see eye to eye on the split percentages, and D-Mac, he felt like he could make this dream happen on his own, and I didn't think he could. And we ended up making like a banana, and we split. And once we split, that's when, I fully went into Perspective Collective, and that was in 2014. I took it on all out, and I had made up my mind, like, there's no way I'm not going to make my dream happen. I'm going solo, and I thought I didn't need anybody else's help to get to where I wanted to be in life. I spent the first year obsessively learning hand lettering and posting daily on Instagram. It helped me slowly begin developing my style, my voice, and overall just growing an audience. And all was great in the first year until the second year hit, and it hit me. I hit a wall. I felt called and compelled to do more than just share pretty polished Instagram posts and getting likes and shares. I was trapped in my little Cedar Falls bubble though, and I had no idea what the next step was, and I had no idea who to ask for help to help me unlock the next step. I felt so isolated and stuck. But for me, the cure was doing something radical to rattle my comfort cage. And that's where, if you're a listener of this podcast, you probably know this story by now, but that's where I found the Creative South podcast, the Creative South Conference, through Instagram, through the people I was following. I started connecting the dots, and, I made a decision that I was going to find a way to attend this conference. And I didn't have any money then. So I went to the day job. After my successful proposal to my day job, I flew out to Columbus, Georgia for a life-changing experience in April 2015. And I leveraged my day job to fuel my dream job. And this conference allowed me to attach myself to people doing things I didn't know were possible in the creative world. It revealed the next steps and provided answers to questions I didn't even know I was seeking. It was pretty powerful stuff. And most importantly, it showed me the power of getting around like-minded people who knew way more than I did. All right, this is the power of the community, admitting that you don't have it all figured out and getting around the people who seem to do have it all figured out, even though no one has it all figured out. Let's be real. After that conference, I went home on fire. I immediately joined the Sean West community from Sean McCabe. He was the main keynote speaker there. And the community welcomed me with open arms at the conference, and they eliminated that feeling of isolation. So when I went home, it was a pricey investment, but for me, it was definitely worth it in the grand scheme of things of finding the right people to attach myself to. And that's where I want to help you find your wolf pack. And from there, you can kill that find your wolf pack part. From there, I joined an accountability group for the next level of connection. Along the way, I would pick up mentors like my homie Jason Craig and Brian Manley, who have both been guests on the podcast. And both of these guys just took me under their wings in regards to public speaking and been backstage with me, ripping my talks, helping me, get to the best product possible. And every year since, my side hustle has evolved as I added a new tool to the tool belt. Drawing in the beginning then turned into blogging. Blogging turned into speaking. Speaking turned into the podcast. And somewhere sprinkled in between, I started teaching workshops on lettering and public speaking, as well as selling products, digital, as well as merch, like mugs, posters, pins, prints, whatever. And doing all of this outside of my day job has helped me build my own community, the private Facebook family. I'll talk about that here in a little later, but it's put me in a position where I can pursue coaching other creatives to build something of their own outside their day jobs. Like, that's where it's all led me to. And the point I want to make is none of this would have happened if I had thought I had all the answers. And if I would have been too prideful to ask for help like I was in year one. I've had help At every step along the way, each level I've unlocked, I've had someone help me. And yes, sometimes you have to be the lone wolf. You have to make mistakes in order to learn, fail, and push forward. But in my experience, seeking out a wolf pack and asking for help allows you to bypass these obstacles and get on the fast track for growth much quicker than doing it alone as the lone wolf. Is this topic of this episode and the theme of this: wolves survive and thrive by being in packs. If you've seen the episode artwork for this one. So if you're tired of feeling stuck and isolated on an island, here are a few levels that you could unlock to find your own wolf pack. So level one, you guessed it, you got to find community. And for me, finding community, that was the spark I needed to get off this isolated island I found myself in Cedar Falls, Iowa. And go into a conference like Creative South, Creative Works, Crop, whatever. Go into a conference for you in general where I didn't know a soul. I didn't know anybody at the conference. I ended up leaving with people I considered family, and that's what changed the game for me, and it can change the game for you. I can't stress enough how important it is to get around like-minded people who are doing or strive to do the same thing you're trying to accomplish. In whatever field, medium, whatever you're trying to create, whatever content you're putting out into the world, finding a community doesn't have to revolve around money. For me, I paid for a community in the beginning, but you don't have to. You can't afford, if you can't afford a conference or an online gated community like I did in the beginning, just don't sweat it. Maybe your work can't back you up. It is what it is. There are free communities on Facebook, Slack, Instagram DM groups, online forums, Reddit, etc. that you can start with today. In fact, shameless plug, it's the main reason that I created the Perspective Collective free private Facebook group. I want hungry side hustlers like you to be able to access like-minded creatives all across the world, sharing feedback, resources, and encouragement. We got people on different continents that are creating and sparking up campaigns, getting featured on Good Type. It's so dope to see. And I think that, the private Facebook family could be a great wolf pack for you to start with, as we'd love to have you as you continue to unlock these levels along the way to finding your wolf pack. So moving on to level 2, this is all about joining or creating an accountability group. And once you join a community and you start building a rapport with other people in there, you're going to end up noticing that there's certain individuals whom you most vibe with. All right, people that you just have this chemistry with. You don't know why, you just vibe with them. For me, these are the perfect candidates that you should be starting an accountability group with. Think of this as your tightest homies in the wolf pack. You guys are going to form your own mini wolf pack gang. Pretty simple. So when I was in the Sean West group, this would have been back in 2015 through 2016, I had a lot in common with people like Colin Tierney of Calligraphy, Eric Friedenson of FDOT, the muralist guy, as well as Terrence Tang of Tin Lun Studio, the lifestyle brand gentleman, who also does murals and chalkboard stuff and lifestyle apparel. And we were all just lettering artists at the time who were focused on kicking out content, producing products, and growing an audience. We formed a little accountability Slack group where we would do weekly hangouts. And this consisted of things like weekly progress updates, short-term and long-term goals. We would share our big wins. We would share areas for improvement. We would focus on things like, we would ask for things that we could use some extra accountability for. And from there, we slowly expanded our circle with more unique and like-minded people, people that balanced out areas that we were all weak in. And funny enough, our group is still going and growing today. I'm in the Slack, every other week, or not every other week, every other day. And it's like a family reunion when we link up at conferences. It's truly become a family. So let's move on to level 3A. If you've outgrown what your community and accountability group can offer, a mastermind could be exactly what you're looking for. It's typically an exclusive niche group of high performers in the same focus as you. Usually what I found is that you're going to need some type of invite, or you're going to have to pay to become a member. For example, someone like Lewis Howes, you know how big of a fan I am of Lewis Howes. He has a gated community called the Inner Circle. If you want more access to him or extra accountability and greater exposure to people who are doing what you do but at a higher level, you can pay and apply to join his mastermind. But this isn't always the case, though. If you and a few from your accountability group are all hyper growing in the same direction. You could evolve and create a tight-knit mastermind that's laser focused on helping each other scale your businesses. And some people like to go do retreats once or twice a year, to really go deep on some of these things. However, sometimes you may want something more intimate, hands-on, and more direct to someone. And if that's the case and a mastermind's not for you, you just may need a coach or a mentor. And this is where I am today. So level 3B is all about hiring a coach or a mentor. And there's a bit of a difference between coaching and mentorship. Coaching is more of a short-term structured relationship, while a mentor is a long-term relationship that could expand from coaching. And I'm going to digress a little bit more about my experience this year with it, of getting my hand held through the process and my feet being held to the fire. So in 2019, getting a coach has single-handedly, two coaches, by the way, has single-handedly elevated my side hustle business to the next level. Back in episode 101 last year, I talk about how in October, my gut was telling me to take my business and podcast in a different direction after attending Summit of Greatness, which is I am going here in like another week or two, whenever this comes out. I can't remember. But after this conference, after episode 101, I knew I was ready to niche down and make a bigger impact in a more focused direction, but I wasn't sure which steps to take. In February this year, I was fortunate enough to link up with the good homie, Tom Ross, CEO of Design Cuts. In May, then I started meeting with hand lettering educator and my coach, Mai DeLeon. And they both have been coaching me this year. It's been incredible. And both immediately, like right from the jump, started helping me shape the bigger picture. And they both held my feet to the fire to just take incredibly massive action, things that were really outside of my comfort zone. On my own, I was stumbling in the right direction, but progress was slow. I just didn't have that clarity. And getting help from these coaches, they helped me gain clarity and, most importantly, traction quickly on this new path I was going. And these two have already accomplished what I strive to do, and they've helped other creatives achieve similar results. So, they got the pedigree. They know what they're doing. And I desperately needed them to hold my hand through the process, baby me through it and teach me the ropes. And this is what they've taught me this year, just so I can get as clear as possible and more detailed as possible for you. So Tom, he's helped me embrace the identity as the side hustle guy and how to communicate it to other people. It was so uncomfortable for me. And he was also the key to helping me launch the Side Hustlers War Chest and explode my email list in the first month. But most importantly, giving value to people and serving my audience, giving them what they wanted. Mai DeLeon, she's been teaching me email marketing, copywriting, and helping me set up this 3-month coaching program, Side Hustlers Coaching. I'll talk about that in the outro. But both of them have just played pivotal roles in helping me lay the new foundation of Perspective Collective moving forward. And not going to lie, coaching and mentors, they're an investment for sure. However, you're able to easily get your ROI plus more if you find the right fit, and more importantly, you apply yourself. And next, I want to talk about some of the biggest names you look up to who have also invested in help. These people are just crushing it right now. So the people you see making making the biggest waves in the creative industry have all sought out help one way or another. And the following friends of the podcast, and my juggernaut friends who are making massive waves and making a huge impact in the business, they're killing it right now. But they started by investing in business coaches or creative mentors, creative coaches, and that's what helped them spark their breakthroughs. And I'm going to read through their testimonials to show you how a coach has helped guide them to success. So first off, my homegirls, Roxy and Phoebe from Panda Design Co., straight from their mouth. After the few first months of starting our business, we didn't know how to run it at all. They didn't know what to charge or how to get clients. Investing in a coach was the best choice we made for our business. So the first 6 months, we had an hour-long call every week. In the last 6 months, we had an hour-long call once a month. Working with our coach has helped us set bigger goals, get consistent clients coming in, have a pricing structure. It's pretty much helped them build the foundation for their 6-figure business, which they run today. All right, so that's straight from the mouths of Panda Design Co. 2 women just kicking ass right now. Next up, Lisa Quan, my good friend Lisa Quan, who grinds and designs all the time. All right, this is straight from Lisa. Sorry about the tangent. Lisa stated, I was just starting to think about life as a full-time freelancer. I knew nothing about running a business, so I knew I would need to do something to educate myself. I ended up hiring a coach who was running a summer special for 2 1-hour phone calls for $500. Like, that is hella cheap for one-on-one coaching. Like, that's extremely cheap. That must have been the deal of the century. This coach, she helped me get my thoughts aligned, pushing out the negative ones and making sure my thoughts were on things like my goals, salary, marketing, bigger thinking, things that align with my business. After our coaching sessions, she also hired me for 3 mural projects and gives me great exposure across Cleveland. I guess this lady is like the head of all the flea markets and everything and is a great connect for Lisa. I got 2 more people I want to talk about quick. My DeLeon, my current coach, I want to give her story real quick. So she stated, my progress was slow. I wanted to move forward faster and leverage the knowledge of someone who's been in the trenches and can teach me how I can reach my goals sooner. I found community first. Okay, my went through level 1. She found community and was then recommended the right coach. They met twice a month and regularly chatted via Slack, kind of like what I've been doing with my groups and what I do with my coaches. She states, coaching helped me massively increase my email list where I was able to pre-sell my course for $17,000, pre-selling an idea with the help of coaching. And I recommend getting a coach because it helps you achieve clarity and focus and gets you to where you want to go faster. And I got to just tell the story of Tom Ross here too. Some more anecdotal evidence of like the power of finding community and getting your wolf pack. So Tom Ross stated, I had grown a large audience on my old design blog, but it was very disengaged and felt hollow. I was relying heavily on advertising income and it felt like I hadn't built something truly long-term and meaningful. He linked up with a mentor, and meeting with that mentor once a week led to the biggest wins of gaining clarity. He dropped all the annoying ads. He focused solely on engagement over vanity metrics. And if you follow Tom Ross Medium, Honest Designers, Honest Entrepreneur, like, you know, Tom goes all out on building value. And truth be told, Tom states success came further down the line in the form of his current company, Design Cuts, and his personal brand. Again, Tom Ross Media, look him up, or The Honest Entrepreneur. None of this would have happened without getting that earlier foundational clarity. That's what it's about. And finding your wolf pack is going to help you accelerate your growth and provide that clarity. So to summarize everything today, to summarize it all, being the lone wolf is hard. Sometimes it's necessary, but it's so much easier to survive and thrive when a wolf pack of like-minded savage beasts has got your back. It's doable, but side hustling solo is hard. I've done it. But attaching yourself to a community or accountability group or finding a mastermind or pinpointing a coach or a mentor is significantly going to help you accelerate your growth and provide clarity. Don't be too proud to admit that you don't have it all figured out, because I don't have it all figured out. No way in hell, but I'm figuring it out slowly with help. And the answer is always no if you don't ask for help. So go and ask for help. Having people help walk you through the forest is way quicker than blindly stumbling through it on your own like I did. So get off your isolated island and go find your wolf pack. PC family, there it is. There you have it. Several levels to finding your own wolf pack. If you're a new listener and you're figuring things out on your own, I want to encourage you right now to join our Facebook family community over at the Perspective-Collective. We legit have people all over the world constantly sharing their work, providing feedback and resources. Again, like I mentioned earlier, collaborating from different continents, and they're forming their own accountability groups within the group, within the family, within the community. And once a month, I've even been offering a free 30-minute coaching call to a lucky member each month. You know, someone applies, they win. So I'm just trying to provide so much value in there as much as I possibly can. You could be a part of this too, as you don't have to figure it all out on your own. So again, come join our wolf pack at the Perspective-Collective, or just check out the description down in the YouTube link in below, whatever, down in the show note description is in YouTube. There you go. At the same time though, maybe community isn't something you need the next level. Maybe you're past the accountability part, of a little group. Maybe you're past the mastermind part too. Maybe you need something that's a mixture of both coaching plus accountability groups. And if so, maybe the Side Hustlers coaching program is the next step for you. If you're hungry to aggressively elevate your hobby, your side hustle to the next level, then this 3-month coaching program could be the perfect fit. So I am doing the biggest thing I've ever done in my creative career. And I'm doing this 3-month coaching program. I'm taking 10 action-taking creatives who are ready to face their fears, tap into their gift, and then carve out time to unleash it on the world. And you guessed it, all outside your day job. With this, you're going to get group access to 2 live calls per month with me where each person will get some hot seat time. It's going to be good. We're going to help you drill down and find a lot of clarity with whatever you're struggling with during this season. There's also going to be weekly assignments, and I'm bringing on a special expert targeted guest each month, once a month, for you to pepper them and bombard them with Q&A. Expect some hand-holding and major holding of your feet to the fire to take massive action, and rattle that comfort cage. If this sounds like something you need to spark the change you desire, then join the Coaching A-List waitlist over at sidehustlerscoaching.com for all updates on when, where, and how to apply during the September 16th through September 22nd launch. That's a Monday through a Sunday. It's going to be dope. And as I sign off real quick, totally expect next week's episode. I'm going to talk about the 9 benefits to side hustling to really help you tap into your gift, and find ways to make a lucrative hobby into a side hustle all outside your day job and find fulfillment with it as well. So as I sign off, I want to give a huge thank you to my executive assistant, Paige Garland, my video specialist, Colton Bacher, as well as Nick Jenkins of Bluka for all the dope theme music you hear on this show. And as you finish off your week strong, I want to encourage you to keep showing up, keep putting in the work, and keep creating. You got this.
Thanks again for listening. It'd be awesome if you took the time to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let the comment below so we can connect. Again, if you want to catch a shout out as a future listener of the week, make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes and give it a rating and review.